Yeah, no problem.
Hal
Okay.
Sparks!
Yay! All right. Thanks. Wow, all I had to do was go okay and round of applause.
We're an easy room.
Anywhere? Oh, yeah.
It's early.
Well, congratulations. Yeah, it is. I don't mind, though. I actually kind of, like the early light. It's just that when you perform at a club, you're there till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. Yeah. Sometimes 4 if they forget you're there. And
well, I
want to
know, at what point does my phone know to call during an interview?
Oh, I thought you were...
darndest thing.
At what point does Tinkerbell show up and grant your wishes?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, so, what is that where you got your start, stand-up comedy?
Yeah, I started doing stand-up at 15 years old in Chicago. I lived in Kentucky till I was 14, then I moved there to live with my dad. And up to that point, I just, been a bit of a wiseacre, as it were. And so I didn't realize till I moved to Chicago you could actually make a living doing it. That there were dudes who were like, oh, this was their job. Like, when I listened to comedy albums, I always just thought that's what those guys did. But I didn't. You just thought they did something else, or they were just kind of a disembodied head that just told jokes, And then I went up to Chicago. I'm like, no, this is a decent living for some people. And I was like, well, I found my job. Dad, call off the gas pumping class. I'm not going. I've figured out something else. And I did. And now, I won the funniest teenager in Chicago contest at 17 doing stand up, and then started touring basically after that while I was still in high school. And
it would have been funny if you won the funniest teenager contest at 23.
Yeah.
See, now that's...
Yeah, 27. Funny. Then I would have been on To Catch a Predator.
Absolutely.
Right? This kid was just going to write jokes for me. Did you say something in your email along the lines of...
Speaking of predators and such, we were talking a little bit earlier about your fans and your crazed fans and where they come from and which shows that they're more...
Yeah, when anybody who's on television is going to have some sort of run-in with some kind of stalkery situation. I don't care who you are. So you can't even take it as an ego boost. You can't even go, hey, I got stalkers. That's how popular I am. Well, so does The Bachelor. So shut up. It's not impressive. It's just annoying. And I had some pretty crazy ones on Talk Soup. The thing is, on Talk Soup and I Love the 80s and those kind of shows, the stalkers are after you in particular. Whereas if you play a character on a show like Michael and Queer as Folk, they're after that character. So the stalker who likes Michael shows up, sees me in person, and goes, that's not Michael. He's not anything like him. He's got a girlfriend. This stinks. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Whereas on I Love the 80s or Talk Soup, they're after you.
Because they think they know you.
They think they know you. They think they're your buddy and that kind of stuff. And in some cases you are, because a lot of people are pretty cool. Yeah. I swear, 99% of the people you run into are really cool about it. They'll remember jokes you told. They're really great about it. Yeah. And then you just have occasional, 0.5% that are really kind of on the verge of being a little spooky, But the truth is, any hot chick in an office knows what it's like to have a nutty dude in the office who stares a little too much across the break table. So I can't really complain.
I've stopped that, just to let you know.
You had to put a stop to it, that guy staring at you across the break table.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, great. So let's shift gears and talk about celebrity duets. Was there any one person in particular or pair of celebrities that really you went, wow, this is unbelievable, I had no idea?
Well, yeah. I mean, on one instance, singing with Sebastian Bach was, kind of a lifelong dream, because I've been a Skid Row fan since I was in high school. But the coolest moments came from singing with Winona and Dennis DeYoung, because Winona was just her. She's such a decent person. She's she's what I call a WYSIWYG person. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And so having her there, she was so full of fire and so fun, and we had such a great time.
She really can sing, too.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't know how good she can sing.
She blazes. It's amazing. And then Dennis DeYoung and I have kind of similar vocal cords. He lives in Chicago, and I kind of lost my Kentucky accent in Chicago, so I have kind of that same nasally tone that you pick up, or northern Midwest kind of thing, and it was just easy to sing those songs. They fit my vocal range really well. Even the high parts, for whatever reason, I could sing the high harmony on some, on the songs with him, and it was just comfortable.
High?
Yeah,
comfortable?
absolutely.
See, you did love the 80s, didn't you?
I did, yes. I was not high and comfortable in the 80s.
You were an amazing singer, and I'm sorry, but I'm just like you say, a lot of times your fans are a little surprised. You go, oh, he can sing too.
Yeah,
right.
no doubt.
Well, that's the assumption, and I blame to some degree the studio system and a little bit of celebrities for. You should be able to do other stuff. In every other country in the world, if you're I travel in China a lot. I speak Chinese, so I go there and I've studied martial arts. I've studied Kung Fu for 16 years. But I've traveled to China several times. And in China, if you can't do film and TV, host, sing, and dance, you're not a star. You're just a TV guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they look down on you if you're only a movie star. They're like, well, he's only a movie star. Really? Wow. Here, it's like, pick a job and stick to it, boy. I'm confused.
Yeah.
What's all the singing and stand-up about? You're a TV host, aren't you? And people start to get a circuit blow in their head. And it's like, dude, in America these days, people change jobs 9 times over the course of their lives. The average person is going to change total careers 9 times in their lives. I'm just doing them all at once.
And do it well.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you went on to the singing show, was it were you nervous about that, or was it like because of your stand-up, it was just totally easy?
It was because of stand-up, it was a lot more comfortable, I think, than anybody else. Other than the 2 ringers we had on the show, like Alfonso had put out records in the 80s and stuff, and there were a couple of people who, and Jay Rodriguez has been on Broadway as a singer and stuff, and he's great, but they're full-on singers a lot of the time. That's what they tour around doing nowadays in some ways. But that was more comfortable. The pressure part came from was the reason I took it in the first place was anytime somebody comes to you and they say, okay, it's a TV show, you can win $100,000 for charity. Yeah. Whatever your charity is, pick one. Doesn't matter. Yeah. You're going to win $100,000 for them. That's where the only nerves comes in for me. Because if it was to win $100,000 for myself, you'd get a little excited. Yeah. But if you lost it, you wouldn't be that upset. But it's $100,000 for somebody else. Yeah. And that's a life-changing amount of money, depending on what kind of charity you're doing. I mean, for Habitat for Humanity, that's 2-3 homes. Mm-hmm. For Physicians Without Borders, that's a lot of gauze and syringes, and so the pressure gets ratcheted up because of that.
So do you feel guilty when you lose and throw a bone their way anyway? Yeah.
Well, over the course of the next 2 years with my band, I'm gonna find a way through album sales and other stuff to donate $100,000 to physicians.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Humanity. So it's just like it was my way of going. Whether I win or not, this will help me promote what I'm doing, and through that promotion, if I can make money doing it, then I can at least give some of it to them, and that will balance it all out for me. Anyways, rather than just have them walk away empty-handed. I won on Jeopardy, which is one of the reasons I can't go back into Kentucky. But I was on Celebrity, Jeopardy, whatever, and I won $50,000 for Doctors Without Borders or whatever, and honest to God, the only reason I won is because I didn't realize what it meant at the time. You know what I mean? If I'd have recognized what it was, I'd been like, every question would have, I don't even watch this show. I'm stupid.
Hal Sparks is our guest, and you're at Zanies this weekend. Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about your band, though. When's your big record coming out?
It's actually out on iTunes right now. My band's called 01, the word 0, the number 1.
Cool.
And it's been great. We released it independent. There's really no reason for an artist to be with a label these days. Pretty much, anyways.
Shh, all the record companies in
It's
town.
true. Sorry, guys. I'd rather have the singer-songwriters come down, to my show and say amen than a bunch of record executives going, no.
Yeah, you need to change everything. What you need is a consultant.
What you need is a marketing engine behind you that puts ads in all the wrong magazines and won't let you give away 2 tracks on your album because
exactly.
No, it's ridiculous. So thanks to we used a thing called TuneCore, and we were able to get it on iTunes now, and then I sell it through my website, and I sell it at gigs. And
what's your website?
HalSparks.com.
Oh, creative.
Yeah,
you don't need a stinking...
I've owned it since 1993 when Al Gore invented the internet. I jumped right in. You laugh, but do you know actually that when they were talking about the intranet, which is what it used to be called, was a way that the Pentagon talked to other areas, like tracked libraries and that kind of stuff throughout the country. And Al Gore was the guy going, if we turn this over to the public and opened it up to personal computer usage, it could be a boom. He didn't invent it. but he turned it loose, which I think deserves a lot more credit even than the technical aspect.
Yeah.
Because, Bill Gates bought DOS off another dude. He never invented.
Right.
I'm sorry, I got really nerdy really quick there. Sorry.
Look, a pocket protector is growing now.
Get down!
You've been here for an hour. You go now.
Yeah, right.
Hal Sparks.
About your show at Zanies this
Yeah.
weekend? What are you going to talk about? What do you use for your
Well,
comedy?
I mix, like pop culture and politics and kind of just straight up observational stuff because I think, truthfully, they always say, my mom used to say, never talk about sex, politics, or religion with strangers.
Yes.
And pretty much don't know anybody in my audience, so that's all I talk about. Because the truth is, I think you come to see a comedy show for two reasons. The first reason is to laugh, and that's my primary responsibility. And the second reason is to hear things spoken of that you don't talk about out loud. You know what I mean? I can't say them on the radio, some of them, but it's important that we start discussing openly and honestly. It's kind of a no BS zone that I kind of run while I'm there. And
So don't bring the kids, is what you're saying.
you can bring the kids as long as they're smart and
over
old enough to
21.
old enough to go into a club. The truth is, I was listening to Richard Pryor records when I was 9 years old.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was a genius.
And yes, there was quote unquote profanity in them, but there was a lot more wisdom than people gave it credit for, and I think it can shape your brain a little better. I think the point of raising a smart kid is that they can listen to anything, take away the good stuff, and leave the bad stuff behind. I think too many people just shelter their kids, and then you wonder why we have these chimpy idiots running around who get really offended at everything. I'm offended. That's because you don't have a filtration system in your brain going, that's good, I'm interested, that's not, I have no interest. You got to start honing your children. So bring them to the show. Let them hear something a little untoward. They'll come away better for it, I promise.
There you go.
Yes.
So let's see if I got this right. Comedian, television host, musician, actor.
TV and movie star.
TV and movie star.
Yeah.
See? You fit in China.
Yeah, exactly.
Hal Sparks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.